Here's a double radical equation. Fairly meticulous. You have to keep your wits about you. So, okay, first step is to make sure you isolate one of either this radical or this one. It's probably easy isolating this one, so I'm going to move this to the other side. So it'll be root x is equal to 1 minus the root of 3x minus 3. Okay, I've isolated. Now I'll use a square principle to get rid of this first radical. So I'll square this. When I do that, the square cancels the square root. I'm left with x. Whew, that was fun. But the other side, a little more daunting. So I need to take this and I need to square it. But I can't just square the 1 and square this. I can't do that. This squared here, I'm squaring a binomial. It means I have two of them. So I have 1 minus root 3x minus 3, and I have another 1 minus root 3x minus 3. Ah, so this is a binomial, so this is a FOIL, or using the distributive property to figure this out. Okay, so 1 times 1 would be 1. 1 times negative that would be a negative root 3x minus 3. And then this times this would be another negative root 3x minus 3. And then this one times this one will be a positive root 3x minus 3 times root 3x minus 3. Now, if these are both the same, that's basically root 3x minus 3 all squared, because there's two of them together there. So the squared and the square root will cancel. So I have x is equal to 1. And now there's two of those, so I'm going to say 1 minus 2 root 3x minus 3. And then this will be just plus 3x minus 3. Okay, because those things squared. All right, so that was fun. Now I have another radical that I'm going to need to isolate. Now it's negative on this side, so why don't I pop it over to the other side and make it positive, is equal to, and now I'm going to leave the 1 there. I'm going to leave these guys here, plus 3x minus 3, and I'm going to move this x to the other side and make it negative. Okay, so I have 2 root 3x minus 3 is equal to 3x minus x would be a 2x, and 1 take away 3 would be a negative 2. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good. Now I'm wanting to isolate this radical. I have a 2 out front that's bothering me a little bit. Sometimes you divide by that, sometimes you don't. In this case, we do, because both these terms on the other side are divisible by 2. So I'm going to divide this side by 2, and this by 2, and this by 2. So on the left side, I got root of 3x minus 3. On the right side, I've got x, take away 1. Okay, am I done yet? Not quite yet, unfortunately. Okay, so now I've isolated that radical. So now I get to square everything again. So I'll square this side, and that's going to cancel out. So I'll just be left with a 3x minus 3. If I square that side, I got to square this whole thing. And remember, you're not just squaring the x and the 1. This is a binomial, so there's going to be 2 of those x minus 1s. Okay, I'll continue on up here. So I have 3x minus 3 is equal to x squared minus 1x minus another x would be a minus 2x, and negative 1 times negative 1 is a positive 1. Okay, feeling good, I think. Uh, okay, so now I've got a quadratic equation, no more square roots, phew, but it's quadratic, so I'm going to bring everything over to the right side. So I'll have x squared minus 2x plus 1 minus 3x plus 3. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, so I have x squared minus 5x plus 4 equals 0. Okay, so I brought everything over to the right so I could use the 0 property. Now I'm going to try and factor that guy. So this would be an x, this would be an x. Two things that multiply to 4, add to negative 5. I'm thinking minus 4 and minus 1. So in solving this quadratic equation, I have the 0 property. So either x minus 4 is 0 or x minus 1 is 0. So either x is 4 or x is equal to 1. Again, I'm feeling really good at this point, thinking, oh, I'm done. 2 radicals down, quadratic equation. That's got to be worth, a donut or something. Anyway, but at this point, I probably should go back and check to see if one of those answers is correct or incorrect. So let me go to a different color. Let's go yellow. Okay, so let's try the 4. So I'm going to put a 4 in there, so it'll be root of 4 minus root of 3 times 4 is 12, minus 3 is 9, and is that equal to 1? Okay, square root of 4 is 2. I'll just go down here. Minus square root of 9 is 3. And is 2 take away 3 equal to 1? No, it's negative 1. Oh, yeah, so that one's wrong. Okay, let's try 1. I'll do it over here somewhere. So root of 1 minus root of 3 times 1 minus 3, is that equal to 1? Okay, square root of 1 is 1 minus 3 times 1 is 3. 3 take away 3 is 0. The square root of 0 is 0. And so 1 take away 0 is 1. Yeah, that's right. So x is equal to 1 would be my only answer. All right, hopefully that helps with that double square root, double radical equation question.